Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to hopefully break down what goes on in an average week of a football analyst. I'm actually going to base this off a football analyst within the EFL, and we're talking probably more towards a solo analyst, so maybe towards the lower end where you don't have a whole department. So what I'm going to try and do is break down what kind of goes on day by day during a average week, if you can call it an average week. You know, lots of things can happen and come up, and quite frankly the whole season can almost blur into one. So that does lead me on to the first point. I didn't actually know which day to start the average week on, so we're actually going to go ahead and start on Saturday, which is of course match day. So with the week starting on Saturday, that is obviously a game day. So in this example, we're going to say that this starts with a home game. So hopefully you've done all of your work in preparation for this game on Saturday. So the actual match day, what actually goes on a match day? So a lot of people have asked me this. So let's just say, you know, you arrive at the stadium nice and early. So you will probably eat with the team, you know, have a pre-match meeting. So this is going to be a presentation that you've probably either put together yourself or put together with the help of the coaches. So this is going to go over, you know, what the game plan is for this particular game. So sometimes this is done obviously in a stadium. Some clubs like to meet at a nearby hotel beforehand, for example. So that's going to kind of be in the hours running up to the actual game. So when you get a little bit closer, obviously you're then going to be at the stadium if you weren't already, and then you need to get everything set up for the actual fixture. So that goes for, if you're filming the game, you're obviously going to get up in the gantry or wherever you are. Make sure everything's set up from a camera perspective, also laptops if you're doing any live coding, etc. But also if you've got anything down to the bench as well. So some clubs obviously review footage now on the bench, and a lot of clubs and a lot of analysts will have, you know, be radioing down to the bench throughout the game. So that might be to the assistant manager or the goalkeeper coach. So obviously the analyst has the luxury of a view from up high, so they do get to see a lot of what's going on. So that can help with set plays or anything that they just notice from having that better view. So they can get that message straight down to the bench. So in terms of match day, you've got that, obviously the pre-match, the meeting and going through that, getting set up for the game. And then when you get to half time, you're probably going to be, you know, involved in at that point as well. So a lot of the times you will run down for half time. A lot, you know, I've done this myself before. I'm sure a lot of other analysts that are watching this have as well. So it might be a case of just before the half time whistle goes, you stop the capture, take your laptop, run all the way down to the change rooms, which, you know, sometimes can be quite a long way if you're in a big stadium, if you're on the other side of the ground, etc. But if you can get down there, and then it'll be a case of just going through any key clips. Obviously, you're not going to be overloading the players with a whole presentation at half time. You might not show anything. You might just show one or two clips either that you've noticed, or, you know, you've been on the radio to the people on the bench and they just want to show some really quick pieces of feedback and maybe things that they can improve going into the second half. So after the game, obviously they'll be, you know, in the change rooms again. Whether the manager or the coaches want to see any more clips, that, you know, they might do. You get your laptop and kind of show them what they want to see. You'll then have to do the coding for that game as well, and code whatever, you know, fits to your philosophy. You know, you're probably going to have a debrief, which we're going to come to in terms of later in the week on the Monday potentially. So you're going to start collecting clips for that. But then apart from that, obviously it's up to you how much work you do when you get a head start on the next day, really. So we're going to say the game's ended, you've gone home, maybe done a few bits at home, and then we're now on the Sunday. Okay, so the Sunday typically in a normal job is a day off. You know, you might actually, well, you probably will do a lot of this from home on a Sunday. You might not actually have to go into the club. And Sunday is just about getting your stuff organised so you're ready for the next game. Because in this example, we're playing Saturday, we're playing Tuesday, we're playing Saturday again. So like happens for a lot of clubs in the EFL, in the English Football League, you're playing twice a week. So it's very, very thick and fast. One game's gone, straight away, you're on to the next one. So I'm just looking at some notes here. So on the Sunday, whatever you didn't finish in terms of coding your game, you're going to have to do that, because like I've said, tomorrow on the Monday, you're going to have a debrief session for that particular game. So all the players and the coaches are going to get in, you're going to go through, digest the game, see what went well, maybe what can be improved. So you're going to be working on that presentation. You're also going to need to then look at your next opponent. So whoever you're playing on Tuesday, they also played yesterday, as you did. So that's the last of the games that you need to kind of create their dossier almost. So let's say you've already watched 2 or 3 of their games, you're waiting for the one from Saturday. Once you get that, you can finish off your presentation, you know, finish your set plays, etc. So it'll be working on that pre-match presentation, which will, you know, be for the Tuesday game, and then the set plays. Now you've got all the footage that you need from the opponents, you can finalize all of the set plays as well. Okay, so moving into the Monday. So Sunday typically, or technically, was a day off, but you did a lot of work from home, as you will find is the case being an analyst in the Football League. So Monday morning, you're back in nice and early. You've actually got that debrief session that we mentioned. So you've done the presentation, you've collected a few clips at the request of the manager and the coaches, All the players are going to come in, you're just going to spend 15-20 minutes going through the game, what went well, what didn't go so well, and then kind of start hinting towards the next opponents, which you're going to play tomorrow on the Tuesday evening. So you will obviously have training on Monday, so you may actually go out and film the training, and then once that's filmed, if you've got internal platforms, etc., you need to make sure that's distributed so the players and the coaches can review that as well. You might also get, depending on what club you're at and what the players are like, you might also get players coming into the analysis office. They might want to watch some of the clips from the weekend. So they might ask you for specific things. They might actually do that alone, or they may come in with coaches. You know, a coach might come in with 2 defenders, for example, just for you, with you to kind of go over some clips from the game specific to those particular players. And then again, last thing for me on Monday would be to make sure everything is ready for the Tuesday. So on the Tuesday game, you're playing on the evening, so you're going to basically have a presentation before that, same as what you did before the Saturday game, so you're going to want to finish that and make sure that's all done on Monday. Okay, so moving quickly into Tuesday, as I mentioned, we've got a game tonight, and in this example, we are away, and it's a long journey. So if you're lucky, if you're in the Premier League, you probably might fly. If you're not in the Premier League, and if you're, an average club in the EFL, you're going to have a long bus journey. So this day is typically going to be an early start in terms of you're going to travel, because you don't want to travel and get there just before the game. Obviously, it's not great preparation. So you might get, meet at the stadium or whatever, the training ground in the morning, travel down. Sometimes you might actually travel the day before, but if it's a night game, a lot of clubs don't bother. They'll travel down on the sort of Tuesday morning time. They can get down with plenty of time, even do a light session, etc. before the particular game. So that is the match day, as I've said. You will have the presentation to deliver, and again, this might be in a hotel, so whatever hotel you're stopping in, there'll be, you'll eat with a team, you'll have the presentation, you'll deliver that, and then it'll be straight over to the actual game, which will be almost a repeat of what I mentioned on the Saturday, so setting up for the game, halftime stuff, etc. And then on the way home, on that long bus journey that you've got, you might have 4 or 5 hour bus journey, you can basically just crack on with your work. So, if you can stay awake at that point, you'll be coding the game, and again, if you can then start maybe doing some clips for the manager, and again, there'll be another debrief after this game, so you're preparing for that, and you've got one eye on the game on Saturday as well. Okay, so Wednesday, this is, again, depends on how much work you've got, how lenient your coaches and the bosses are. So typically this might be a day off. You might not have actually got back on Tuesday till 2-3 o'clock in the morning if you've had a long away day. So the Wednesday, you'll probably be from home. You might be able to treat yourself to a lie-in, maybe get up at 8 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock or something along those lines. But obviously there's still work to do. So you might get a text from the manager, for example, and he wants some things clipped out for when he's in. He wants you to send some clips to him, or maybe some of the players, for example. And again, as I've said before, one game's gone, straight on to the next one. So you're literally going straight in preparation for the game on Saturday. So as you played yesterday, so did your opponent for Saturday. So you've got to get that game. And like I said, on the Sunday, now you've got everything in terms of the footage from your next opponent. You can finish the set plays. You can finish that pre-match presentation as well. So as you can tell, the games come thick and fast, especially with the travel as well. So if you're traveling most of a day and you're getting back really late, you're waking up, you're straight into it basically. So yeah, the Wednesday might be more of a relaxed day, obviously from home. If you've got some stuff you need to do personally, you can do that, but it's a case of finishing off the coding that you didn't get done on the coach home, potentially, and then just making sure you're ready for Thursday and whatever the manager wants to see when everyone's back in the club. Okay, so Thursday I've put some sort of ad hoc duties in here. So a lot of analysts might have their own sort of spreadsheets and databases that they want to kind of keep up to date after each game. So maybe that's benchmarking their players against others in the league. Maybe it's doing, things on recruitment or whatever it is. So, if you've kind of got some spare time, you obviously want to keep them up to date. So I've popped that in a Thursday. So you've worked hard on your day at home on Wednesday. So Thursday is going to be spent updating your databases, your spreadsheets, all the video libraries, make sure everything's up to date and all of the coaches and the players can access what they need. And again, straight onto the pre-match for Saturday as well. So Saturday is going to be an away game, but let's say you actually want to relax on the coach down rather than actually do work. So it's kind of the more you can get ahead of yourself and kind of be organised and keep on top of everything, the easier you'll find it, and you will be able to then pick and choose these times for potentially chilling out a little bit on a travel day or whatever. So that's your Thursday. So you've got everything you need for the pre-match on Saturday, and then hopefully, like I said, you can have a relaxing journey down to the next game. So on to the Friday, obviously you will train every day, but I've got in here that you're going to film a training session in the morning, and then you're actually going to leave after lunch and go to an away game. So again, like I said, it could be a flight, it could be a long coach journey, but in this example, it's an away game with, say, a 4-hour coach journey again. So once you've done that session, that's recorded and uploaded to wherever it needs to be. You can then obviously go down to the hotel on the Friday evening. Again, it's up to you how organised you've been. If you've got any work to finish for the next day, hopefully not, because obviously you will be presenting early morning in the hotel for the pre-match stuff. So Friday, travel day in a lot of cases, if you're playing away obviously, and then Saturday we are back at the game day, which we obviously spoke about at the start of this video. Okay, so again, I've gone really quick through that, but that kind of hopefully gives you an idea of what you're doing day to day as a busy football analyst, especially in the Football League. So obviously that is not everyone's schedule, and people do a lot of different things. Also, if you're lucky enough to have a department, you can almost divvy these jobs up. So someone might do the set plays, someone might do the post-match stuff while you're doing the pre-match stuff. So it all depends on what kind of department you've got. So everyone's obviously going to do different, each club works differently, but again, hopefully it gives you that kind of rounded idea of what you may do if you get a job in football. One thing I will say is, I have described this as an average week. Typically weeks are different. Yes, you are kind of going from one game to the other, but things will come up. You might have issues with some equipment or the software. The manager might request something late at night, ready for the first thing in the morning. So you've got to be adaptable to be able to deal with that situation, and also working under pressure. If you've been given a task from the manager to get done, he might have asked you to squeeze another slide and a few videos into the presentation that's happening in 45 minutes. You've got to be able to adapt to that and make sure that is done for when the manager wants it. Okay, so if you do have any questions on the average week of an analyst, feel free to leave a comment below. If you did find this video useful, please consider liking the video and also subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. So that is the end of this video. So thanks again for watching, and have a great day.